These are very interesting times for the Denver Broncos, fans, and every other team in the NFL. Normally they'll be cutting down to 53 men from the 90-man roster, but most teams have already cut down to an 80-man training camp roster. Now, the full 53-man roster projection can be found at milehighhuddle.com, but here, let's just take a look at the projected starters on offense and defense, along with the big weakness on both sides of the ball. Obviously at quarterback, you have the young kid Drew Lock as a starter. He only had 5 starts in 2019 with some mixed results, but there was enough good to land him the starting job for 2020. Melvin Gordon may be the starter at running back, but look for Phillip Lindsay to get his fair share of touches as well, as the Broncos will look to rely on their backs for the main focal point of the offense. At wide receiver, things get really explosive and exciting with Courtland Sutton, Jeudy, and KJ Hamler as the 3 starters. These 3 receivers all bring complementary skills to the Broncos offense. Noah Fant is the top tight end, and that isn't going to change barring an injury. He is an athletic freak, and Pat Shurmur knows how to better him after coaching up Evan Ingram. Garett Bolles is going to be the guy at left tackle, and Vic Fangio believes he is trending up. At right tackle, right now, that's a toss-up, with Elijah Wilkinson potentially battling it out with an incoming free agent signing. On the inside of the line, this is pretty much set with Dalton Risner and Glasgow at guard. Lloyd Cushenberry has the edge for winning the starting center job, and seems well on his way to be the starter. The defensive line is interesting with Jurrell Casey and Purcell as the 2 starters, and Shelby Harris likely the 3rd starter if he can hold off a late surge from Draymond Jones. No shocks at edge, and this is probably the easiest position with Von Miller and Bradley Chubb as starters, hoping to have a bounce back year. Alexander Johnson and Todd Davis come in as the off-ball linebacker starters. Michael Ojemudia gets the first shot at winning the 2nd boundary corner spot opposite AJ Bouye, and hopefully he wins it. Bryce Callahan will be the starting nickel corner for the Denver Broncos. Last year, Denver had one of the best, if not the best, safety duos in the NFL with Justin Simmons and Kareem Jackson, and that isn't going to get broken up for this season. On offense, they have the firepower, but they will live and die with the performance of Drew Lock. Those tackles also need to hold up in pass protection, especially with Jawan James opting out. Defensively, they better hope for no injuries to their defensive backs because the depth there is really lacking. There is also a major concern about the coverage play from the linebacker position. Denver has a solid roster and starting lineup that is just lacking in a couple of different places, and those places could have their questions answered this season. Make sure to check out the full roster projection at milehighhuddle.com. For Mile High Huddle and Sports Illustrated, I'm Eric Trickle.